Hello, everybody. My name is Lena Marie, and I'm the creator, director, and the owner of Athena Sunshine. All right, so I'm just gonna jump into my continuation of my list, and the next album on my list is Detroit 2 by Big Sean. He released this album in the midst of the pandemic back in 2020, and it was right on time. I mean, I said it once, and I will say it again because I meant it when I said it. This album don't have no skips. And this album to me just really showed his growth as an artist, but also it showed his spiritual growth as well. You can see mentally and spiritually he was in a different space when he was in the studio brainstorming this album. He taps into a lot of different subjects on this particular album. He's talking about suicidal thoughts and dealing with depression at one point. He also talks about how Western medicine is really invasive and really behind compared to holistic healing. He talks about daily meditation, and he also talks about not accepting anything less than what doesn't align with the respect that he has for himself. One of my favorite parts about this album that he has different people coming in and they're expressing their love for Detroit. He has Erykah Badu, Dave Chappelle, and Stevie Wonder. Dave Chappelle refers to Detroit as an entity and somewhere that you go because it's unlike any other place that you'll ever visit. And he also says that as a comedian, he finds it particularly challenging, and we are one of his favorite markets. Erykah refers to Detroit as being a cosmic place, ancient and organic. And she also expresses gratitude for the legend, Jay Dilla. And she also refers to Detroit as being a place where the Nubians grow. And Stevie Wonder comes in and he says that he appreciates being from Detroit because he was able to express his talents in the early days of Motown. And you know, Stevie Wonder is a legend, living icon. And, you know, it's really beautiful to see all these different talented people express their love from the city that I'm from, and it really makes me see Detroit in a whole other light. One of my favorite songs on the album would have to be Full Circle. He is talking about the different experiences that he had when he first started stepping into becoming an artist and the struggles that he faced. He gives light to, at one point he was sleeping on his ex-girlfriend's couch, and he talks about how hearing doubt from people that he loved telling him that he needs to stop doing music and go to college because that is a smart decision. But my favorite line would have to be where Big Sean is talking about how Kanye West dropped his first album when he was in the 10th grade, and years later, Big Sean dropping the #1 album on the exact same day. I felt it when he said, swear everything come full circle, dog. You just gotta wait. Like, I felt that shit. Being patient is definitely a key component to your dreams coming true because nothing happens overnight. You have to stay consistent and remain patient because your dreams are possible. But my favorite line would have to be, drop out that jealousy, that shit is gonna hurt you. Quit giving energy to the ones that don't deserve you. I love that little nugget to basically remind myself that I don't need to keep putting energy towards things that no longer deserve my energy. There are a lot of times where I find myself complaining about how somebody treated me or how our relationship was not where I wanted to be. And I made a decision. I can either keep letting things continue as they are, or I can just basically choose myself and just let the people be where they are. I really love this song, and it is one of my favorites because it really spoke to the part of me that is still on this evolution journey and still trying to get to a space where I am truly comfortable with being my complete self. And yeah, so I really loved it because it really speaks on that everything is in God's timing. It's never in our timing. So as long as we remember that, we stay consistent with the vision and the plans that God has in store for us, and, you know, keep the faith, and we cannot lose. Now, my next favorite on this album would have to be The Baddest. And when that beat start off and you hear that Godzilla sample, nigga, Detroit is definitely known for jitting. And, you know, Godzilla is one of the notorious beats that you use to jit on. Like, everybody knows that. Like, he starts the song off on hard. You gotta show these bitches who the baddest. This song is definitely a talk your shit kind of song. And it's also a testament to the ups and downs that he faced that ultimately made him him. He talks about how people will hate on you simply because you are shining and you are stepping into your light. Envy and jealousy are like cement block ankle weights that hold you down and create stagnancy. He gives a shout out to Nipsey Hussle and Black Sam on starting their own business together and really highlighting the importance of black ownership. Another one of my favorite parts would have to be when he said, made a way out of no way, I did shit different. He speaks to the mentality of not accepting being backed up into a corner and to really not make any excuses about why something can't be done. You know, one of my favorite quotes that my big brother always tells me, but there's a will, there is a way. And I always love that because it basically means that you're not gonna make excuses for yourself. You're not gonna accept any excuses. You're always going to make a way. I mean, even when people doubt you, you just take that and use it as fuel to pursue your goals and go even harder, just to prove them wrong. Like, you love them, but you wanna be like, I told you I was gonna get that shit done. You thought I was gonna do it, but I did that shit, didn't I? Another one of my favorites would have to be Friday Night Cypher, and I thoroughly enjoy that song simply because, you know, it's a collaboration amongst Detroit artists, and I really love it because he's allowing them to have this space and to be on his platform to, you know, broadcast themselves, and they all have their own style, their own flow, and it really added something different to the album itself. But the last song on the album, Still I Rise, that shit's beautiful. One of my favorite lines in that particular song would have to be when he says, if you have any regrets, it's because you haven't forgave yourself or you haven't learned your lesson. I really appreciated that snippet because it really spoke to me. It just made me go, you got a point there, man. You really only seem to beat yourself up when you feel like you don't deserve grace or you feel like you haven't learned a lesson in whatever pain that you're experiencing at that moment. If you're not careful, you can stay there in a cycle of inner turmoil and self-pity. To get to a point where you're actually able to extend grace and forgiveness to yourself, it takes a lot of hard work. You know, to go through life facing obstacles and adversity and then get to a point where you say, you know what, I can't deal with this anymore. So instead of running from it, you run towards it and you go through it. And you get to a point where you face accountability, you do the inner reflection, and you become a better person once you're done doing all of that. Now, with that being said, I just wanted to say I really love this album. There are several songs that I left off because I'm not trying to make this video so damn long, okay? You know, I love Deep Reverence, especially when I heard Nipsey Hussle was on this song, and that, man, that hit in my heart. And I loved Wolves with Post Malone, and I also love Body Language with Jhené Aiko. And, you know, he really did his thing on this album. This album, to be named after Detroit, it just filled me with so much pride, and I was just like, damn, he doing it for the city, man. And the next album on my list goes to Eve by Rhapsody. I find it incredibly frustrating that whenever there is a conversation surrounding female MCs that are dope, Rhapsody's name is nowhere to be found in that conversation. They often mention Cardi B, Meg Thee Stallion, Foxy Brown, Eve, Lil' Kim, the likes of those people, but you never really get too much conversation surrounding Rhapsody. Rhapsody has been out since 2008, and people act like sis is not lyrically gifted. I mean, she is one of the coldest MCs in my opinion, and I wouldn't even refer to her as a female MC because she doesn't like that definition. She just wants to be referred to as an MC because that is really what she is. My introduction to Rhapsody would be off of Kendra's album To Pimp a Butterfly, where they both did a song called Complexion, A Zulu Love. And in this song, she's talking about self-love, how different melanated beings look gorgeous, and how regardless of where we all are from, black folks, we are all truly one. Now, I'm not gonna lie, when I initially heard Complexion, I thought that Rhapsody was a man, but when I pulled her up and saw that she was a woman, I was immediately intrigued. And then not that long after she did that verse with Kendra, she came out with her own album called Layla's Wisdom. And what was so dope was that she finally got the recognition that she rightfully deserved. And she was nominated for a Grammy for the best rap album of the year. That definitely sparked the conversation on Rhapsody being a respected MC, but the album that did it for me would definitely be Eve. I would probably an interview that she did, which I believe was on the Breakfast Club, where she said that she named it after Eve, after the biblical story Adam and Eve. And she did that because she was paying a homage to Eve, because she is metaphorically the mother of all mothers. But one thing that I really appreciated about this album was that she paid homage to other women as well. She named these songs after different influential women in all types of industries. Now, the first song on the album was called Nina, and it is named after Nina Simone, and throughout the entire song, you can hear Nina's vocals singing strange. She's also talking about the importance of Black folks coming together. She wanted us to come together like cornrows, and I feel it. I mean, simply because a lot of division happens within the Black community because of maintaining priorities. I mean, a lot of division within our community is just basically causing a hindrance on our progress and our growth. This song spoke on the recognition of Black women and our beauty, and especially recognizing our strength. And the outro, you hear this woman coming in, and she has this mysterious voice that's just dipped in honey and voodoo. At least that's what it sounds like to me. And upon first listening to the album the first few times, I initially thought that the outro was from this artist named No Name. But it's actually the spoken word artist by the name of Raina Biddy. And Raina Biddy has a few poetry books out now that I'm actually intrigued to go into and start reading myself. At the end of Nina, she really is piercing through the listener's heart with her hauntingly yet soft-spoken voice, and she really does it with her words as well. She has this one line where she says, "I poured and poured my soul again. Here's to epiphanies." And what that means to me is that, you go through this journey of self-discovery, and each time you reach a new level of consciousness, it's earth-shattering, but it is very rewarding. My favorite line on the outro would have to be where she says, "Empathy be the reason you're still standing." And I thought that was just so gangster. Simply because we are capable of destruction, but we choose not to, because spiritually, we're built different. Another one of my favorites on this album would have to be Aaliyah. And in this particular song, she is talking about how Aaliyah was so influential and how she made it cool to be a tomboy. She doesn't stay there. She ventures into a different topic where she talks about how some people do things based off of survival and not for longevity. She admits to having an attraction to bad boys, and a lot of her ex-boyfriends already had 2 strikes. But what often comes with bad boys comes with deception, being cheated on, and often a lifestyle that you did not sign up for. Hence, probably why they are her ex-boyfriends now. Shortly after, she taps into, not allowing somebody to mess up her day, pouring into herself and self-love. But I do appreciate the line where she says, "I'm clear to God, I done went sky high, been alienated so much that I must be fly. I am who I am, I don't rock to the sky. See me more than a woman, now I come with some ties." I remember a Netflix series called Raptor, and on her episode, she was talking about how she doesn't want to conform into something and to be someone that she knows that she's not. To stay true to yourself and stay in line with what God has in store for you is something that I truly applaud her for. I mean, it really shows how comfortable she is in being herself. Oh, but one of my go-tos would have to be Oprah. Her and Kaylee 47 are truly snapping on this song. That bass, it really hits you in your solar plexus, and it's just got a nice bounce to it. I mean, 30 seconds into the song, she's already snapping. She is calling herself a master and how she is in control of her own image, and she don't have nobody's hand up her back. Here come Rhapsody on the chorus. It ain't uncommon to borrow a dollar, invite me over and eat with your mama. I like the checks with the commas on commas. I want the checks with the commas on commas. But then after the chorus, Kaylee 47, she comes in and she has this mysterious, intriguing, and distinctive voice to her. And if you've seen the video, she has this cover over her face, and I found myself really intrigued by her. Now, Kaylee 47, she always has a covering over her face, whether it be a mask or a bandana, and she does that in interviews and in performances. And the reasoning behind her doing that is because she wants the focus to be on her art and not how she looks. I love how it's always just about the bars with these ladies. I mean, it's so empowering, especially the song being named after the first Black female billionaire. I love the song in its entirety, but I love when Kaylee 47 was coming in, she was talking about how she's not gonna stop her grind until she gets to the cash goal that she wants for herself and that she sets for herself. And she's not talking about just thousands of dollars. And she's hungry. You can tell by her delivery and her flow. And you can tell that her hunger is what really fuels her ambitions. She highlights the fact that she's doing all of this and deepening her pockets, all while keeping her face covered. Athena delivers yet another powerful outro. In this particular one, she is tackling a lot of different subjects, but what struck out the most to me was when she mentioned our ancestors' light, their spirit, and their drive, and how it's still embedded within us, and so we take that further. Even though this country has tried to beat the humanity out of us, we're still here and we're still resilient. But you know what? To try to narrow down my favorites out of this whole album, I would really put this entire album in this list, particularly because there's no skips. The album is enjoyable. It's dope-ass production. So I'm gonna just save that particular video for another day, but I will just go ahead and skip to the last song of this album, which is Athena. For those who don't know, Athena is Tupac Shakur's mother, and she birthed a man that was a true visionary and a revolutionary, and he walked in his godliness, and he in turn inspired others to do so as well. But a real nice touch to the song would have to be the instrumental, simply because it has this beautiful ballad of Free by Denise Williams. But what truly gave this song its extra spice would have to be Tupac's raw and uncut vocals from Keep Your Head Up. Pac and Keep Your Head Up is really his ode to black women and his declaration for his undying love for black women. But back to Athena, the song. The song is a smooth and it's a soulful declaration, and Rhapsody is professing her love and her unwavering love for black men. Rhapsody starts off the song with a sincere outcry of, "My brothers, I love you." But in the next line, she gives a bit of truth, and she says, "I hate to know that some of y'all treat us like Glover." And she's referring to Danny Glover's character, Mr. from the movie The Color Purple. Mr. was the husband of Celie, and he was incredibly hateful and abusive and mean-spirited towards Celie, who was played by Whoopi Goldberg. Rhapsody points out that the reason behind those men treating black women that way is because of deep-rooted self-hatred. Rhapsody also sends out a reminder that we are all in the same boat, and she also feels that if the men just become our muscle, we can really push forward together. The line that really jumped out to me was when she said, "Rib of our rib, do you still feel a sinew?" And what that represents is that, the biblical story of Adam given his rib in order to create Eve. I absolutely love PJ Morton on the chorus because his voice is so silky and it just intertwines so well and so beautifully with the melody of Denise's vocals. I loved and appreciated his lyrics as well. He is really telling his pride about his love for black women and want us to know that if nobody else told us, then he appreciates us to the highest degree. And rap also tackles how the media tries to portray the black family as fatherless when that could be further from the truth. And probably like my favorite highlight from PJ Morton would have to be when he referred to black women as beautiful and brilliant. And I really appreciate Raina's outro. She talks about the intimacy between a black man and a black woman. She brings up a part where she says untwisting his hair and being his sacred space. What I really appreciated about that little snippet was, the untwisting his hair part. When you're untwisting somebody's hair, your hands are in their crown, you're very intimate, and that's the only way that you can do that is if you're truly comfortable with one another. The other part would have to be where she says that being a sacred space for her man. And being that sacred space for a man is truly a blessing within itself because you're allowing yourself to be somebody's peace and to let them unwind. But she also talks about how the importance of taking accountability for, emotional maturity and to not take your anger from the world and bring it into your home. You know what? This album was beautifully made and is truly a masterpiece. She is dropping nothing but bars, not a bar is wasted. She's dropping gems. She got this production that just marries so well with her lyrics, and she really solidified her place in hip-hop. I just truly hope that one day she is a part of that conversation amongst the Lizzos, the Cardi B's, Megan Thee Stallions. I really hope that she gets that top tier attention that she so rightfully deserves. But You know how Rhapsodies are, so she gonna get there. All right, this video, it is not the end of my list, but it is getting closer to the end. But I just wanted to remind you all that since you all are already here, go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you can know when I drop new stuff. And yeah, help a girl out. All right, and as always, I wanted to leave you all with our tagline, which is, it's beautiful to rise from the ashes, it's still shining. Peace.